Hey, what's going on, guys? It's King Andy here, and welcome to episode 3 of the Clash Cup podcast series. I'm joined once again with Destiny. For this week, I also have on two new guests, Link from Synergy and Royale Dawn from Instinct. And we're going to be going over week 6 of the Clash Cup and talk about some other things as well. So, how's it going, guys?
Yo, what's up? Going pretty good, Andy. Glad to be here for a third time again.
I haven't gotten Corona, so all is good.
Same here. All going good.
Yeah. So, we're going to be talking about a lot of things today, but before we do that, let's take a look at week 6. So, we had a lot of close matches this week, especially Shaheen versus EGS. That match was in Group C, and it was like final score of 8-7, really close. We also had some like lopsided matchups, like Funny Bones versus Quantum. That was a 10-5. Undefined versus Tribe, also 10-5, and same thing as Blitz, 10-3 with you. And as far as the standing goes, Instinct NA is still sitting at first in Group A. Intellectuals is first in Group B, and Tyranny is first in Group C. So Group A and B hasn't changed much, but Group C has. So what are you guys' thoughts on the standing so far?
I'm not surprised that Tyranny pulled up to first because I feel like they were just slept on the whole time. Everybody was roasting them for being so low on the standings, but like in my power rankings and the league analyst tab, I decided to put them up a lot because they still have all the players basically that they had last season, and they're still a really really good team. I mean, in 1v1 they can pretty much do it all. So yeah, I'm not surprised about Tyranny actually just climbing up the rankings. Yeah.
Instinct NA doesn't surprise me because their 1v1's pretty OP. Like they don't got any weak people there, so I kind of expect them to stay number one and probably end up winning the thing because I think their 1v1 is the strongest out of any of the teams.
You're not just saying that because Vocals is on the team, right?
That is part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Tyranny, like you said, they're a really good team. They just won GKR, I think APAC region. Just a tough start, but yeah, they're a solid team. They played. There was Shaheen. You said that they just beat this week, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, no. Shaheen beat them.
Oh, Shaheen beat them. Okay.
It was close though, 8-7.
Oh wow! All right. And for Group A, I'm really looking forward. So Instinct NA is in first right now, but I think they've got the toughest remaining schedule. At least I'm really looking forward to watching them versus Undefined and Blitz. That'll pretty much lock up Group A, I think.
Yeah, Instinct NA faces Blitz next, so
That'll
it's gonna be a really good match. So, yes, let's talk about any surprises or upsets that you guys saw this week. Personally, in Group A, I don't really see any upsets. I feel like all the favorites won their matches. I mean, I guess some people would have expected Synergy to maybe pull off an upset against Instinct, but overall,
we choked our 2v2 and so we end up losing by extra points.
I mean, Instinct has a solid 2v2 though, so and you guys did take a win off them, so
yes,
not too bad. I guess another upset in Group B would be Ulti versus Intellectuals. I think Intellectuals is pretty dominant throughout the season, and Ulti just managed to pull off an upset. Same thing could be said with Rising Sun Alpha and Instinct EU. I guess Instinct was pretty dominant, but Alpha just pulled through, got the 9-6 win.
All right. Yeah, I think pretty much everyone who should have won, at least for Group A that I've seen, did. Let me scroll back up to them. Yeah, this was a pretty straightforward week. Was it 10-5, 5-9, 10-3, 10-5? Yeah. Group B, Ulti versus Intellectuals. It was 8-6. It wasn't like a big upset or anything, but taking down the first seed was pretty good for Ulti.
Yeah, there was no surprises. I'm also not surprised that Midwinter dropped out of all the DQs that they got. Because it really didn't even look like they were trying anymore, or that they really cared to be in the league that much. But for Group A, I'm pretty sure the first 4 are set because you have the most dominant teams, Funny Bones, Instinct, Blitz, and Undefined, just taking dominant wins over the opponents. Yeah, Ulti and Intellectuals was probably the biggest one. I mean, 1v1, of course, Intellectuals won, but then everything else it kind of like faltered in. So that was probably the biggest surprise, and I'm also not surprised that Tierney beat Electric, because like I said, Tierney's just really really good with like 1v1s and just really lineup making in general. So not surprised that they were able to pull a dub there against Electric, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree with what you guys said. Link.
yeah, I mean, I haven't watched much of Group B and C, so I don't have a whole lot to say about that.
I will say one more thing with Group B is I was surprised how that Chaos beat Tierney Prime 10-2. Like, I expected them to win because I know they're good, but 10-2 is pretty crazy. That's a big win for them, and they needed it.
Yeah, I believe they performed. I believe they got a sweep in King of the Hill, and I think, yeah, they got 2v2 disqualified. So I think that's
so that's a big help.
Yeah.
Okay. Solid points for them, though.
So there's been a lot of talk, especially on the analyst tab, about like who's the best player in the cup, who's been underperforming so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take a moment to talk about like what players do you think have been a little underrated, like who's been not getting enough attention as much as the other players. Like, so I'm gonna go first. I'd say last season I would probably say Surgical J or Balkeys, but I feel like this season they've really made a name for themselves. They're definitely been performing at a higher level, and people are starting to recognize them. Same with Kyle. You can make a case. This season, I'd probably say from Easy Peasy Gorka Matea. I know in other leagues people like see him as sees him as like a really like a god or something, but in Clash Cups specifically, he's not really talked about, and I feel like he should be getting more attention. Like, he's never lost a match. I know he joined the season. He joined the league midway, so that's probably why. But yeah, that's my pick for an underdog.
Let's see. I don't think these. So based off last week, so Darian for Instinct NA, he's 10-1 in his 1v1 sets, which that's pretty crazy. Almost over 2 in the round or regular season. Only a couple more matches. I want to see if he can keep that up. That's impressive, only dropping 1 game so far.
Yeah. When he played against us too, he had some really bad matchups, and he was able to get a sweep against us in 1v1, which is impressive. I guess my 2 players. One of them's from my team, Outro. He's really good. He knows a lot of his technical things. He's kind of like one trick 3.0 miner. He's very skilled. He had some rough matchups in his first 2 weeks, and so he ended up dropping in. I think he was 1-3, but he got a sweep against Lasukes. I gave him this past week off, but he's gonna be returning pretty soon. He's really good. Another player I thought was actually pretty good is Taro from Lasukes. Like, I watched him play Golem. He's pretty good at it. He knows when to pressure or not, and so I think he has a chance to actually take down some good players. Maybe his win rate's not good, but I think he has a chance to take out some good players.
For me, I'd have to say Shamix. For our team, I mean, he's been really, really good for Koth, and for 1v1s, he's been like extremely dominant. I forgot which 1v1 player he took down, but it was a dominant win against one of Undefined's best 1v1 players. So he's really good at that, and he's also helped us with like a lot of reverse sweeps as well for King of the Hill, and just really performing well in King of the Hill in general. So I think Shamix is really not being talked that much about, and he's just like really, really helped us like when we really needed it most. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about King of the Hill. I know you guys had a little situation this week.
Oh yeah.
Against LSU. You want to tell them what happened?
Well, so like like the captain of LSU initially decided on like 2 p.m. like the Mexican Standard Time, which I was down for because I was like, that's 3 p.m. Eastern Time for me. But I don't know, like Shadow and their captain, they were like talking some more or something, and then it ended up being that like all of LSU's like King of the Hill players would be there, and so Shadow agreed for a time of 5 o'clock, and he said I could play, which I couldn't because like I didn't know at the time I'd be playing at 5. I thought it was at 3, and because their whole team was there, and I didn't show up, and neither did Shadow. They decided to disqualify the both of us, which is kind of weird because like my match really is dependent on like the first match. So like I don't know, but like like it didn't really help my case because Shadow didn't even show up. So like because of that, and like I didn't show up either. Like immediately both of us got disqualified. But I don't know. I thought it was a little bit unfair. Like at least for me, I think Shadow was like more obviously supposed to get disqualified, but I don't know. It happened, but Shamik's got two wins against him, so that's how we got to 10 points overall. But yeah.
Yeah, rules are rules, and sometimes it sucks. But at least Shamik, yeah, like you said, got 2 points, so it wasn't like a complete throwaway. You probably would have gotten 11 if you and Shadow played. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is your predictions on next week's matchups. So, as we said before, Blitz versus Instinct NA is going to be a really good one. I feel like Undefined versus Lucio, that's going to be lopsided, as well as Funny Bones versus Oso. Synergy versus Quantum is going to be interesting because both teams are mid-table, and I want to say they're officially out of playoffs yet, but they're going to have to rely on the top teams like choking their matches if they want to have a shot.
Yeah.
And for Group B, Rising Sun Alpha versus Intellectuals is going to be a really good one as well.
Then, so for Group A, so I noticed, so I think Oso and Funny Bones will be big. If Oso is able to pull off a win, or even just keep it close, then they could steal that final playoff spot in Group A. But I think Funny Bones can really just close the door here if they win, even by just a couple, but a big win for sure. I think pretty much locks down Group A. Undefined versus Lucio. That's Undefined should get 9, 10, 11 points. And that's an important one just for them to make sure they get as many points as possible to try and clinch like a first seed or even a second seed in the group. And then the obvious big match, Blitz versus Instinct NA. I'm assuming it's going to be close, but if one team ends up winning by a pretty large margin, that could really hurt the other team, dropping them down to third or fourth. We're now seeding, because those teams pretty much lacked playoffs now. Where seeding now is the most important part for them.
Mm-hmm. And in case you guys didn't know, the top 2 teams in each group will have a chance to get a bye in playoffs. So you want to get top 2.
That would be big.
Oh dang! Well, no one told me that, bro. I thought just 4 made it. All right, I'm gonna tell Shadow. I'm gonna tell Shadow to bring the big ones, then, bro.
You didn't
That's
know
funny.
that, man.
I don't know, for Blitz and NA, I'm really excited. I think for 2v2 we're gonna pull up like with Gino and Clash for Cash. I just think they're probably the best 2v2 duo out there.
Oh, you're telling them the lineup.
Yeah, I'm telling them the lineup. I mean, it's Gino and Clash, bro. Gino and Clash, bro. Like, how are you?
I'll have to send this over tonight.
How are you gonna hard counter them? How are you gonna have matchup? They just work too well together. They've been like doing it for the longest time, even way more than me and Shadow. So like, I just think they're just way too dominant, and like they have like a large variety of deck pools that they like chosen for 2v2. It's insane. So I think we take 2v2. We pretty much like set everything else for the rest of the matchups. I think King of the Hill will be like really interesting because I feel like that part we've like kind of been struggling with. I mean, with like DQs and everything, and just like really like Shamix has been the one that's been kind of carrying us for King of the Hill. But like we need to have a better group effort for that. And I think we just like win 2v2, like I said, and just do better in King of the Hill. We'll have a pretty good shot at taking a lot of points against Instinct. Oso and Funny Bones is interesting because I mean Oso has like again some really, really good players. They just haven't been performing that well. 2v2 is really underrated. They also have Carlos, who I'm still waiting for Carlos to have a really big King of the Hill or 1v1. But again, this is like definitely an opponent that Funny Bones can't really look over because they have really strong players, and anything can happen. So I'll be like really watching that matchup as well.
Yeah, definitely. Oso actually brought in 2 new players, and I checked their stats, and they're actually not bad. They have like a PB of 7.5K, I think. So So they're going to be, they've definitely gotten better. So it's going to be interesting to see how we match up with them.
Yeah.
And Link, what are your thoughts on going into
Oh,
Quantum?
we're gonna beat them with 11 points. It's gonna happen.
You need it.
I put a pretty
Confidence
good
up.
roster up. We had a stream from before, and we did really well against them. I'm putting in. So my problem is I've had some sort of weak 1v1 players, and I wanted to give them their fair share to play, but I want to try to make playoffs or at least get in fifth place, so we aren't like on the bottom. So I'm putting more stacked rosters up. So I think we're gonna beat them for sure.
You definitely need it.
Yeah, just don't put yourself in 2v2, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
It has to happen.
You need a sweeping King of the Hill. You got to use Golden
The
Fisher.
carry.
Just sweep
I
everything.
might have a King of the Hill appearance in our very last match against Funny Bones. It might happen.
Yeah, I want to narrow in on the Blitz and Instinct matchup even more because that seems to be like the highlight match of the week, as well as probably Rising Sun and Intellectuals in Group B. But so for Blitz and the Instinct match, I would give the edge to Blitz in 2v2 definitely. Knight and Asian are a very good duo formerly. Like a couple months ago, they were very, very good, and we'll see now if they can get back to that form. If they can, Instinct could steal the 2v2 set, but otherwise that'll be a big set for Blitz to make sure they secure, and if they sweep it, then they could take the match in a close set. King of the Hill will also be interesting because Instinct, I know, has had multiple different players sweep in King of the Hill, so it'll be interesting to see what could happen if they don't sweep. If what happens in a 3-2, will Instinct finally lose a King of the Hill set?
I know that Instinct NA has never lost a King of the Hill set, and I believe all their King of the Hills have been sweeps except for this week because I believe Synergy's last player.
I think it was a 3-1 win.
Who it was. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a good King of the Hill, especially if Shamix is in King of the Hill for Blitz.
So I'm looking at Group B right now. I didn't realize Chaos. This group's very tight. Group B, like for play. So Intellectuals is pretty much secured playoffs. It looks like. Then
sure.
Chaos is at 44. RSA is at 44. Evolve's at 42. Instinct EU is at 42. Alti Academy is at 41. That's two of those teams won't make it. So that'll be very interesting to see over the next the final weeks.
I'm kind of worried about Instinct EU because they have a break this week. So
yeah, I agree. Their problem has been they've had to was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, the past 2 weeks they've forfeited a lot. And I think that's because of the change in management now. So see if they can fix that up and edit the lineups and get back to how they were doing at the beginning of the season. Because the start of the season they looked like one of the best teams in the league, but recently, due to forfeits, they've been falling off pretty fast.
No, for sure. They're definitely not out of playoffs. They definitely could get fourth or third, but I think top two is out of reach right now. And Group C is also looking pretty tight. I'm especially looking forward to PRG versus Shaheen because they're like the top. I believe they're top 3.
So yeah, for here, first through 6 is only 3 points difference. So every position in Group C from 1st to 6th is up for grabs. Let's see who's played extra 5. So Shaheen has played 1 extra. And Electric Esports. So those two need some big weeks in the final because they have an extra game played over the other teams.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that group ends up. Yeah, Group A definitely is the ones that's the difference between 4th and 5th. Like the top 4 teams are pretty much locked there, but 1st through 4th isn't. Or undefined, still undefeated. Nice. Interesting.
Yeah, so I think at this point, for most teams, they're in a position. At least the first and second place teams, they're in a position where they've clinched a playoff spot. Now it's just focusing on finishing top 2, and for the other teams, it's just battling for 3rd and 4th. So it's gonna be like all matches still matter at this point, especially for teams that are sitting high on the standings and they're facing like a team in like 6th, 7th, or 8th. Those teams definitely pull off an upset.
Yeah, that's what we'll have to watch out for.
Ruin their
teams playing spoiler.
Exactly.
see. Yeah, so this week and next week, Instinct versus
Yeah,
Undefined, Instinct versus Blitz. Then we have. So really, after next week, Group A, I think we'll have the picture on 1st through 8th, pretty much done. Then any big matches in Group B. Alting, Chaos, Instinct EU. Instinct EU faces Intellectual. Oh, so Midwinter dropped out officially then? Okay, so that helps Instinct EU, so they get the full points versus them in their last match, but they need to have a big match versus Intellectuals if they want to make it in the playoffs. Not the opponent you want.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, for
I
sure.
mean, it's possible though. Outlaw and Quasim have been dominant in the 1v1 sets, but Instinct also has strong 1v1 players, like Divided by Zero. I think he can take down Quasim.
It will be
but we'll
interesting. And Group C. Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Wait, what?
What do you think?
I don't think Intellectuals is going to hold that top spot actually, because they've played.
Hot takes.
They've
Interesting.
played an extra. I'm pretty sure they
That's
played an
fair.
extra match. And Chaos, man, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, some shenanigans can happen, and they
They've
can
been on the rise.
and they can pull a first place. I definitely think Intellectuals will get either them or Rising Sun, because Rising Sun's been pretty decent.
Checking who has.
I think they've never lost, right? I don't think Rising Sun has technically lost. Rising Sun Alpha, that is. Yeah, they've tied,
Like a
overall,
match.
I think.
Yeah, so Intellectuals, they do have one extra game played, and they face RSA and Instinct EU. So they could potentially drop down, to third, or I would have to look at the points again, but they could drop out of the top two quite easily looking at this. And I have to say, I think RSA or Chaos looks like they're going to win the Group B, just because they play each other in the last week. Oh, that'll be a good match. I hope they're both tied for first, and that they'll decide first and second. That'd be a good way to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I'd say Group B and C are definitely the ones to watch now, as Group A has pretty much been locked up.
Yeah. I think Funny Bones will drop down to 4th though, because they're the only ones who have played an extra match.
Mm-hmm.
They still have one. Yeah, they've played an extra match, so they get a week off, and I think.
Yeah, we have a break in week 8, so
dang.
we're probably gonna drop the third.
I don't know. I think when I say Instinct, it honestly it depends on how we do Blitz against Instinct. If Instinct just runs over us, then they've got first in the bag.
Yeah, or vice versa. That's what it seems like.
But if we run over them, then I don't know. I feel like Undefined is still going to be too perfect. I feel like if we beat them, Undefined will take that top spot, and then Instinct will be either second or third, depending on how well we do for the remainder of the season. But if Instinct takes the dub, then they're pretty much running away with it.
Keep in mind that Undefined faces Instinct
Next week.
Oh, week 8.
believe.
The week after.
Dang.
This coming one.
Or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a really good match. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I think
It'll be
whoever
fun
wins
to
that
watch
doesn't get
too, because
first. Without a doubt.
what is it? Air Force and Al Sheehy, who are playing for Undefined, actually are with Instinct, but just not for this league.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see,
Yeah.
if Al Sheehy faces, if he plays in the 1v1 set, then it'll be two guys from the same organization, but on different teams for this league, playing each other. That'll be fun to watch, and seeing that they'll know each other's decks. I wonder how that'll affect the match at all, or I wonder if the teams, maybe Undefined, won't decide to put them in just because Instinct knows those two players very well.
Yeah, ILC has been playing in 1v1s, so as well as Darien. So those
I'd love
two
to see
face
that.
Each other. That's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah.
Man, those matches should be streamed, bro. Those would be nice.
Yeah, we'll try and get it, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, Durian streams whenever
Dang,
the
yeah.
teams are available. So definitely try to make the schedule work.
Definitely.
So, do you guys have any final thoughts on week 6 overall? Before we wrap up?
Let's just say I hope Instinct doesn't ban Golem for King of the Hill. Hint, hint.
We'll have to put a goal on.
Man, because otherwise I'm gonna get pooped on, bro.
Just use
Yeah,
2.6.
true.
If
Well,
you
I
got
mean,
it
I've
that
won
before.
a couple classic challenges. I don't mean to brag or anything, but I've beaten
I've got a
some
win or two in a classic challenge
I've
once.
beaten some tough 5K opponents that use their mom's credit card to max out the Hog Rider and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think pretty good.
I respect.
But yeah, it'll be an interesting King of the Hill for sure. I mean, lineups are pretty. Wait, actually, I should have probably asked you this, but wait, Andy, is lineups set for Blitz and Instinct?
I'm looking now.
Like were they already sent to you? I mean, so like they're basically finalized.
Actually,
Oh, dang.
Zim does.
I don't think
I
they're
need to learn
official.
Group
Yeah,
B.
I wish they were. 'Cause that'd be good to go over and see to pick the matchups.
And not officially.
Yeah.
Because Zim has
Talking
been
Zim.
taking-
Well, what's today? Today's Wednesday. I mean, like it'll be posted. There's no like, unless someone like instantly sees this like
Just
the
later
minute
tonight.
you upload this video, and then we get screwed.
Right. Quickly switch it.
And quickly switch, yeah. But yes, because Shamik's, I actually took over his spot, so he's not playing. We need him in 1v1. So I think that'll change it up a lot because
Ooh.
Shamik's is just really really strong. Same with Bok Keith. Bok Keith has like
He's good.
transformed into a whole nother player, bro. I remember when
He's very good.
he first joined Blitz, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Compared
he
to
first
last
joined
season,
Blitz, I was like,
yeah.
this guy's average. But now,
This
man,
season-
like, holy smokes, bro. This man's been playing Clash Royale like 18 hours a day, man. 6 hours of sleep. Yeah, he's been playing really well. He's been playing out of his mind. He's quite possibly the next Kyle. But just overall, as like final thoughts, I don't know. This is gonna be a really exciting run, like at the end, because especially for Group B, everything is so close. Other than Intellectuals, but I mean they've played an extra match, so they got to rest out 1 week. But it's definitely gonna be interesting. I'm kind of hoping that Tierney makes like a deep run for the playoffs after like they got beaten by Intellectuals last season, because they have the players and everything. They have good management staff, like
Mhm.
good across the board. So it'll really be interesting to see if they can bounce back from last season. But yeah, this will definitely be like an interesting few weeks to end off the season. I'm just really excited to see where everything plays out.
Yeah, definitely. Word for word what you said.
All right, cool. So that's going to do it for this week's podcast. I'm going to link you guys' YouTube channels and Twitters in the description.
Thanks for having me.
All right,
Yeah,
thanks for having
again
us.
coming on, guys. All right, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.